everyone. It's nice to see so many people here. And I'm especially pleased to hear Andrew. I was in Scottish office or Scottish government then in Scotland. So I had the advantage of seeing a lot of informatics and good things happening in Scotland with digital health and research. So I'm just going to talk a bit about the node itself. That was sorry, I put my timer on. I put my timer on so I wouldn't run over and didn't turn off the sound, excuse me. It had to be somebody, didn't it? Okay, there we are. For those who don't know who QCIF is a not-for-profit organisation that supports most of the Queensland universities with research infrastructure, as well as a lot of the skills that Andrew spoke about, analytics, statistics, sensitive research, data, training and skilling up its member staff researchers with these skills to meet the needs of the work that's in front of us. And here are some of these members here. The Queensland node decided to use a product, Dataverse, which has come out of Harvard University, as it's a metadata or a data repository system. We gather the metadata that gets harvested into Health Data Australia, and from there it is discoverable, findable by researchers who are wanting to use data for secondary purposes. So why use the Queensland node that we have developed to register your research data sets, descriptions and metadata? And I think we've touched on a few of these attributes already about trustworthy systems. Researchers really need to trust the system that they're working with and know that the system itself understands their position. It's not just metadata, but it's about conveying the importance and the contribution that their research is having in terms of contributing to some of these big challenges that we have. So by using the Queensland node Dataverse, research data becomes fair and discoverable. This is a landing page of this is a landing page of the Dataverse. You see we have three. At the moment, we have 3 collections in there with 6 data sets, but we have a number ready to go in. I would say the Dataverse is the metadata repository, and we curate the data and store the metadata, store the metadata and make that available. Most of it, the data that we have metadata we have at the moment is from the Queensland community. So this is one record we have, and I was going to go into it live if we can, fingers crossed. Here we are. So this is the landing page of Dataverse. When a researcher it tells us they want to deposit their research metadata with us, we create an account for them. And here we are. We have description of it, a little bit about the data, the trial itself, some of these requirements that are required by HSANDA, but also by Health Data Australia. I'll have a look at some of the metadata items, and they really do describe the data sets that are available. Oh, there, this is what happens. Here we are. I'll have a look at the HSANDA metadata. These are the additional fields that we collect, additional to those that are in ANZ CTR clinical trials that register the metadata for the clinical trials, and the HSANDA, the Health Data Australia also harvests those data, put all of the metadata together. Excuse me. So as you can see here, you'll be familiar with some of these terms here: public study names, scientific acronyms, a bit of information about the study itself, what the outcomes are. These are metadata that somebody who's looking for data sets to therefore use for a further study will find this information and make decisions about whether this is something to follow up on. We have a lot of information here about the eligibility, the sample description, so it's a good contact information, rights and license for the data set itself. And I've been told I get out of this by, yes, good, thank you. In Dataverse itself, we can also upload some of the study artifacts, such as protocols, in some cases, the data dictionary for the data collection, code books, and patient information and consent forms. Now you'll see here that these artifacts have this little red padlock here, which shows that they can't be accessed until someone requests access, and that access request goes straight through to the data custodian. In this case here, this is from the COVAX study, and Janet Davies here is in the audience. It's her series of studies, who actually have no other home to go to. So we're actually providing a good service there for her to make the results and outputs of the study findable and fair. There is, as Christian said, there's a similar functionality in Health Data Australia, and one of our next steps is to integrate with that access request system, so the two can actually be compatible. This is the COVAX clinical trial data set here. And if the way researchers come to us is they either hear about the Queensland node, they can get in touch with us directly, or we do have a facility with this URL here, a link where a researcher can put in these details, get in touch with us. We will, they get an automatic email back. We'll have a discussion and then register them in the trial and register them, sorry, in Dataverse, and then help walk them through the requirements of Dataverse and of HSANDA. And sometimes that's a bit challenging, because from a researcher's perspective, they really want to tell you everything and want everyone to see everything that they want to tell about their data set. That's my timer. Good. Thank you. Sorry about that. But sometimes the constraints of metadata is not quite compatible with all of the information that's in a data set. So it's a delicate balance to be had, and that's where we spend time with the researchers and develop that trust, so that they are able to have confidence in what HSANDA is about and are willing to or want to use the Queensland node.